Antoine de Saint-Exupéry once said, "Perfection is achieved not when there is nothing more to add, but when there is nothing left to take away." Good day! I am Elimar A. Pascual from Talangan Integrated National High School, and with me is my co-author Dr. Gregoria B. Gutierrez, Public Schools District Supervisor from the Department of Education, NAGCARLAN Sub-Office. The title of our study is Laying Down the Foundation of Localized and Contextualized Teaching in NAGCARLAN District, Laguna, Philippines. Section 10 of the Philippine Republic Act 10533 stipulates the use of localized and contextualized teaching in basic education. To localize means to maximize materials and resources that are locally available, while to contextualize means to use activities, interests, issues, and needs from learners' lives to develop skills and apply their learning. With the modernization even in remote areas of the Philippines, localization and contextualization needs to be laid down as foundation that teachers can use as guide in preparing lessons. How can teachers utilize them at the maximum to ensure quality delivery of competencies? What are the materials and the best activities that can be provided to learners to make learning practical to everyday living of the learners in NAGCARLAN? These are the issues that this basic research has tried to delve with. The study made by Gorin and others on 2017 highlights the use of contextualized and localized teaching in basic statistics. 34 students were exposed to contextualized and localized teaching, being the experimental group, while 30 students were exposed to only contextualized teaching, being the controlled group. It was found out that the performance of the experimental group was significantly different to the performance of the control group on the empirical probability, but they were not significantly different on the theoretical probability. The finding indicates that the use of indigenous data in teaching statistics along empirical probability is an effective teaching and learning strategy. In the study made by Policarpio of 2018, entitled Teaching Grammar Using Localized Instructional Materials Among Multilingual Learners, she explored on the effectiveness of localization in teaching. The results showed that the performance of the experimental group using localized instructional materials was significantly better than the performance of the control group using traditional instructional materials. The finding revealed that the use of localized instructional materials in teaching grammar is indeed more effective. UNEDA of 2019 conducted a study on localization and contextualization in teaching biology to grade 7 students. Findings revealed that post-test performance of both sections were significantly different. Teachers in any subject area should try to integrate localization and contextualization in teaching because it shows a positive effect as regards to the performance and motivation of students towards the lessons. This study focused on laying down basic foundations in providing localized and contextualized teaching to learners of DepEd NAGCARLAN Sub-Office, Laguna, Philippines. Specifically, it sought to answer the following questions. What is the profile of NAGCARLAN district? How can teachers introduce localized teaching? That is, maximizing the materials and resources in the immediate locality in their specific subjects in terms of the 5 aspects of NAGCARLAN profile. How can teachers introduce contextualized teaching? That is, activities that will develop learners' skills and apply their learning in their specific subjects in terms of the 5 aspects of NAGCARLAN profile. There were 3 public schools in the district of NAGCARLAN whose master teachers responded positively to be the participants of this study by answering an online survey. A total of 7 participants became part of this study, thereby laying down the foundation for localized and contextualized teaching. The link of online survey through Google Form was shared to the participants, inquiring them about the profile of NAGCARLAN district. The second part of the online survey inquired about the suggested localization strategy that a teacher can do to maximize teaching and learning in the locality of NAGCARLAN. This was using the information they have provided in the first part of the survey. The third part was on the aspect of contextualization, inquiring the respondents about the activities that can be implemented to capture the immediate environment of the learner in their acquisition of competencies. Qualitative data gathered from online survey were harvested, sorted as to the question item, and were treated with word cloud generator. Words that are frequently appearing were analyzed as to their connection to ideas and their association with other words. Word clouds were generated in connection to frequently appearing words from the responses obtained to every question. With word clouds, themes were developed that represent patterns of thoughts and ideas regarding the topic being investigated. The first theme, which pertains to the Filipino values in NAGCARLAN, is thus laid down here. NAGCARLAN values family, eternal depth of gratitude, social acceptance, social mobility, benefactor-hero complex, and closeness to God. The second theme, which pertains to the sources of income and business establishment in NAGCARLAN, is laid down here. Farming, commodity stores, bakeries, resorts, restaurants, nature tours, and transportation services are the primary sources of income in NAGCARLAN. The third theme, which pertains to the tradition and beliefs in NAGCARLAN, is thus crafted. Beliefs and traditions hold NAGCARLANians together as history unfolds. Festivities continue to be celebrated, and virtues are handed down to present generation. The fourth theme, which pertains to the tradition and beliefs in NAGCARLAN, is this: highlands produce crops and vegetables, while lowlands produce bakes, pastries, and candies, both of which are being enjoyed by locals, tourists, and visitors. The fifth theme, which pertains to current issues and other pertinent data in NAGCARLAN, is thus laid down here. NAGCARLAN, having a growing economy, has positive reports in demographics and poverty index, but unavoidably has problems to watch for as part of advancement. The sixth theme, which pertains to localization in teaching in NAGCARLAN, is also laid down here. Localization in teaching can be realized by replacing distant materials or concepts to the ones available in the immediate environment. The suggested activities for contextualization in teaching are anchor activities, centers, choice boards, compacting, flexible grouping, group investigations, jigsaw and reverse jigsaw, learning contacts, stations, Socratic seminar, tic-tac-toe, tiered assignments, web quests, project assignments, and think, pair, share. These are just some of the activities, And with the proper inclusion of NAGCARLAN context in different topics and subjects in basic education, the list can have unending items as the history of NAGCARLAN still unfolds even to this day. This will make the lesson more interesting, the learners more engaged, and the teaching episodes more fulfilling. As Leoneta of 2022 emphasizes that contextualization needs the consideration of the background of the community and the culture of the people living there, so it is very important that learners are able to connect classroom topics into reality, first with their immediate environment and in a larger context, the world where they are living. The seventh theme, which pertains to contextualization in teaching in NAGCARLAN, is laid down here. Contextualization in teaching can be realized by designing activities that meets the needed requirement of the curriculum while using the issues, needs, and concerns of the NAGCARLANians. Teachers in NAGCARLAN should familiarize themselves with the 5 basic aspects of NAGCARLAN profile: Filipino values, sources of income and business establishment, tradition and beliefs, products and specialties, and current issues and other pertinent data, because this would substantiate their localized and contextualized teaching. Global teaching easily follows if the immediate environment is prioritized, giving the learners the connection to their immediate environment. School heads should inculcate constant localization and contextualization in the teaching and learning process, checking and supervising it from the lesson plan submitted to the implementation of it inside the classroom, whether by star observation or class observation tool of RTMS PPST. School's division of Laguna should aid in the formation of foundation of localization and contextualization of teaching in different districts of the province, knowing that the implementation of this would aid in the lowering level of literacy and numeracy brought about by the recent pandemic outbreak, causing the schools to go on distance learning. Future researchers should craft action research, focusing on interventions that has a localization and contextualization aspects in the proposed innovations that they will develop. This study was conducted to lay down the foundation, and the succeeding studies would be necessary and essential to explore on the deeper aspect of localization and contextualization in different schools where learners have different needs and interests. The conduct of this study has its motivation in providing excellence in teaching in the district of NAGCARLAN. Never a time that perfection is reached, but it can be the target and the vision. It was not the sole intention of this study to add something into what has been done or is already happening, for NAGCARLAN teachers have always been including localization and contextualization in their teaching episodes. Rather, the goal of this study was to sift some activities being done by the teachers inside the classroom that is causing them too much energy but not hitting the needed target, that is, the utmost attainment of competency leading to lifelong learning. As Antoine de Saint-Exupéry once said, perfection is achieved not when there is nothing more to add, but when there is nothing left to take away. Once again, I am Elimar A. Pascual, and in behalf of my co-author, Dr. Gregorio B. Gutierrez, from the Department of Education, NAGCARLAN Sub-Office, Laguna, Philippines, we want to thank you for watching. Keep safe and God bless.